You won't believe what the FBI uncovered in Joni Lamb's estate. The secrets hidden behind closed doors are shocking beyond words. From mysterious documents to unexpected revelations, this discovery could change everything you thought you knew about the Lamb family and their empire. Stay tuned as we reveal the jaw-dropping findings that have left investigators and the public absolutely speechless. This is one story you cannot miss. The night the FBI showed up at Joni Lamb's estate was unlike any other. Their cars rolled silently through the quiet neighborhood, flashing red and blue lights cutting through the darkness, waking neighbors and sending a ripple of shock through the community. People who knew Joni only from her public image, a strong, faith-driven leader, were stunned. What could possibly bring a federal investigation to her doorstep? The agents didn't waste time on appearances. They moved through the grand house, ignoring the tasteful decor and expensive artwork, focused on uncovering something hidden beneath the surface. At first, it seemed like just a typical raid, searching for financial documents, contracts, anything that might point to fraud or mismanagement. But soon, things became far more unusual. The agents found a locked, reinforced door in a part of the house rarely used. Behind it was a room unlike any ordinary private study. It was filled with rows upon rows of filing boxes, each carefully labeled and locked, a large safe blinking with a digital screen, and piles of papers and documents spread across an elegant mahogany desk. As the search continued, more startling items came to light. Among the papers were detailed financial records showing large sums of money moving to offshore accounts, donations being funneled in unclear ways, and contracts involving well-known religious and political figures. Even more unsettling were the sealed packages bearing names of high-profile individuals, people who'd long been rumored to be involved in shady dealings but had never been publicly implicated. One of the most chilling discoveries was a hidden room beneath the main study. This space was dusty and clearly untouched for years, yet inside were locked boxes filled with old tapes and fragile documents. The tapes were marked with dates and names of prominent figures from politics and religion, people known to the public but never connected to any scandal. The FBI carefully handled these as if they held explosive evidence, though the contents remained a closely guarded secret. The raid raised countless questions. Why did Joni Lamb have these tapes and documents? Were they collected as proof, leverage, or something darker? The agents also uncovered collections of ancient religious artifacts and handwritten notes that seemed to hint at secret meetings or hidden messages. Behind the scenes, whispers grew louder that this investigation was about much more than just money. It was about power, control, and secrets that powerful people wanted kept hidden. For those watching from afar, the FBI's sudden and thorough search turned a public figure's home into a symbol of mystery and suspicion. It shattered the image of a perfect ministry and opened a window into a world few had ever imagined existed behind closed doors. The raid didn't just reveal what was in the house. It revealed how deeply complex and dangerous the web surrounding Joni Lamb might be. The emotional and spiritual impact on those involved in the FBI raid on Joni Lamb's estate was profound and far-reaching. What started as a shocking public event quickly became a deeply personal and private struggle for many people connected to the situation. The sudden intrusion of federal agents into a home known for its strong faith and ministry work challenged not just the individual's sense of security, but also their belief systems and emotional resilience. For Joni Lamb herself, the raid was nothing short of a spiritual earthquake. Known for her steadfast faith and leadership within her community, this unexpected event forced her to confront a whirlwind of emotions: shock, fear, confusion, and profound grief. The sanctuary she had built in both her home and ministry now felt invaded and fragile. It was a moment that tested her faith to its core. She was not only dealing with the practical implications of the investigation, but also wrestling with questions about trust, betrayal, and divine purpose. How could something so unsettling happen in a life devoted to faith? These doubts crept in, challenging the very foundation of her spiritual identity. For the family and close associates, the emotional toll was just as heavy. Friends who had once admired Joni's public strength now saw her in moments of vulnerability. The weight of public scrutiny added pressure on everyone involved, making private pain impossible to hide. Family members grappled with feelings of helplessness, struggling to support Joni while dealing with their own shock and confusion. The constant media attention and swirling rumors amplified the sense of isolation. It wasn't just a legal issue. It was a deeply personal crisis that affected relationships, trust, and emotional well-being. Many within the faith community experienced their own struggles. Supporters and followers who had looked up to Joni found themselves questioning their own beliefs. When a leader falls under such serious suspicion, it shakes the community's sense of security. Some began to feel betrayed or disillusioned, while others doubled down on their prayers and faith, hoping for clarity and truth to emerge. The spiritual divide widened as people wrestled with how to reconcile the news with their understanding of faith and leadership. For some, the situation became a crisis of belief, forcing them to reconsider what it means to follow a spiritual leader and how to process human fallibility within religious contexts. The emotional impact was not limited to immediate family or community. Staff and employees connected to the ministry felt the pressure keenly. Many faced uncertainty about their futures and their roles. The sudden shift from working in a faith-based environment to one overshadowed by scandal created anxiety and fear. Employees who had dedicated themselves to the mission of the ministry now worried about the stability of their jobs and the reputation of the organization. The emotional labor involved in managing the fallout became overwhelming. Staff found themselves caught between loyalty to their leader and the reality of the allegations and investigation. Spiritually, this period was marked by deep reflection and struggle. Many involved turned to prayer and meditation, seeking comfort and answers in the midst of chaos. The questions about divine will, justice, and forgiveness weighed heavily. How does one maintain faith when trust is broken? How can forgiveness be offered when the truth remains unclear? These were not easy questions, and the process of working through them brought both pain and growth. For some, the crisis led to a stronger, more resilient faith, tempered by the realities of human imperfection. For others, it sparked doubt and disillusionment that would take years to heal. Joni herself embarked on a deeply personal journey of healing and understanding. Behind the scenes, away from public view, she sought spiritual guidance and support. Counseling, prayer groups, and trusted mentors became lifelines as she navigated the emotional storm. This process was neither quick nor simple. It involved confronting difficult truths, managing feelings of loss and betrayal, and finding ways to move forward with grace. Her story became one not just of scandal, but of resilience, redemption, and the complex reality of faith in the face of hardship. For the broader community, the event served as a sobering reminder of the vulnerability inherent in leadership. It sparked conversations about accountability, transparency, and the human costs of public ministry. Many began advocating for better support systems for leaders, recognizing the immense emotional and spiritual burdens they carry. The hope was that from this painful experience, lessons would emerge to help prevent similar crises in the future. In the end, the emotional and spiritual impact of the FBI raid was a multifaceted challenge. It touched individuals deeply, reshaping relationships, faith, and personal identities. It reminded everyone involved that behind every public figure is a human being facing struggles unseen by the outside world. The journey through this crisis was marked by pain, but also by moments of profound courage and hope, a testament to the strength of the human spirit when tested by the harshest storms. When news broke about the FBI raid on Joni Lamb's estate, the response was immediate and overwhelming. Almost overnight, the media descended like a storm, turning what had been a quiet investigation into a full-blown frenzy. Headlines screamed speculation and scandal, and the public was swept up in a whirlwind of theories and assumptions. It was no longer just about the legal case. It became a cultural moment that captured attention far beyond the immediate circle of those involved. The media coverage was relentless. From national news outlets to local papers and online blogs, everyone wanted to be part of the story. Reporters scrambled to dig up any scrap of information, often filling gaps with speculation when facts were scarce. Press conferences and official statements offered little concrete detail, which only fueled more questions and rumors. The silence from the FBI and Joni Lamb's representatives was interpreted in many ways. Some saw it as a sign of guilt, others as a protective measure for ongoing investigations. Either way, the lack of clear answers left a vacuum that the media rushed to fill. Social media became an echo chamber for the story. Platforms like Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube were flooded with posts analyzing every known detail, sharing leaked information, and theorizing wildly about what the FBI might have uncovered. Hashtags trended, videos went viral, and discussion forums buzzed with a mix of curiosity, outrage, and disbelief. Fans of Joni Lamb found themselves divided. Some stood firmly by her, expressing faith and support, while others voiced doubt and disappointment, questioning how such allegations could be true. The atmosphere quickly shifted from news to entertainment, and sometimes even conspiracy. In the absence of confirmed facts, conspiracy theories sprang up like wildfire. Some claimed the raid was part of a larger plot to bring down influential religious leaders, suggesting that Joni Lamb was being targeted for exposing hidden truths or opposing powerful groups. Others speculated that the tapes and documents seized were evidence of secret dealings involving politicians, wealthy donors, or shadowy organizations. These theories were amplified by sensational headlines, viral videos, and outspoken commentators who mixed fact with fiction in ways that blurred the lines between reality and imagination. The conspiracy theories took many shapes. Some suggested that the hidden rooms and safes were repositories of blackmail material, capable of destroying careers and reputations if made public. Others believed that the investigation was just the tip of an iceberg, hinting at a vast network of corruption and deceit involving not just Joni Lamb, but an entire system of power behind her ministry. These ideas spread rapidly, often without any basis in verified information, but their appeal lay in the drama and mystery they offered to a public hungry for answers. This climate of suspicion created a difficult environment for everyone connected to the story. Supporters of Joni Lamb felt the pressure of defending not just her reputation, but their own beliefs and values. Critics and skeptics saw the unfolding drama as confirmation of long-held doubts about televangelists and religious institutions. The line between fair criticism and outright character assassination blurred, and many voices drowned in the noise of online outrage and misinformation. Traditional media outlets found themselves walking a tightrope. On one hand, they had a duty to report facts and investigate the story thoroughly. On the other, the competitive nature of the news cycle pushed them towards sensationalism and clickbait. Stories about the raid were often framed in ways that highlighted scandal over substance, encouraging speculation rather than providing clarity. Interviews with insiders or experts were peppered with vague warnings about what might be discovered, keeping the public's attention but leaving little solid information. Meanwhile, Joni Lamb and her team remained largely silent, neither confirming nor denying the swirling rumors. This silence was strategic, aimed at protecting legal interests and maintaining some control over the narrative. But in a world obsessed with immediate answers, it also made them vulnerable to interpretation and rumor. Every day without official updates allowed the media and public imagination to run wild, sometimes creating narratives that were far from the truth. The impact of this media storm was not limited to public perception. Internally, those close to Joni Lamb reported increased stress and anxiety. The invasion of privacy, the intense scrutiny, and the endless questions took a toll on personal relationships and mental health. The sense of being judged by millions, with every action analyzed and misinterpreted, was a heavy burden. For a community built on faith and trust, the constant exposure to suspicion and doubt was a painful experience. Amid the chaos, some voices tried to bring reason and balance to the conversation. Journalists and commentators urged patience, reminding the public that investigations take time and that rushing to judgment can be harmful. Legal experts cautioned against assuming guilt without evidence, emphasizing the presumption of innocence. Faith leaders called for compassion and understanding, recognizing the human cost of public scandals. Despite these calls for calm, the narrative of scandal and conspiracy continued to dominate. Documentaries, podcasts, and opinion pieces dissected every new development, often revisiting old rumors or speculating on secret motives. The story became a cultural touchstone, reflecting broader concerns about power, trust, and accountability in religious and political spheres. For many, the FBI raid and its aftermath served as a harsh reminder of how quickly public figures can fall from grace. The combination of legal scrutiny, media frenzy, and social media speculation created a perfect storm that left few untouched. What began as an investigation into possible financial misconduct expanded into a story of hidden secrets, divided loyalties, and a community struggling to come to terms with the revelations. As the dust settled, it became clear that the media frenzy and conspiracy theories were just one chapter in a much longer story. The truth, whatever it might be, remained elusive. For now, the public was left with questions about what really happened behind closed doors, about the nature of power and faith, and about the line between public persona and private reality. In the end, the episode highlighted the double-edged sword of modern media, its ability to uncover hidden truths, but also its power to amplify fear and suspicion. The story of Joni Lamb's estate raid was not just a tale of investigation, but a reflection of society's hunger for answers, drama, and meaning in a complex and often confusing world. Whether the final truth will ever emerge, the impact of the media storm will be felt for years to come. The story surrounding Joni Lamb's estate and the FBI raid has captivated public attention and fueled countless conversations. Yet even with all the media buzz and speculation, much of it remains shrouded in mystery. Despite the intensive investigation and the discovery of secret rooms, strange objects, and stacks of documents, many important questions remain unanswered. This ongoing mystery keeps the story alive as people everywhere try to piece together what really happened behind those closed doors. One of the most puzzling things about the entire situation is the lack of clear information from official sources. The FBI, known for being tight-lipped during active investigations, has revealed very little beyond the initial confirmation of the raid. This silence has left a vacuum that's been quickly filled by rumors, half-truths, and wild theories. The public, desperate for answers, tries to make sense of fragmented news reports and leaks, but the full picture remains elusive. What exactly were the agents searching for? What was the significance of the secret rooms and locked safes? And why were so many documents labeled with the names of powerful figures? These questions have become a sort of puzzle that the public, the media, and even experts are trying to solve. The discovery of hidden rooms filled with old tapes, confidential files, and mysterious artifacts suggests that there's much more beneath the surface than just financial mismanagement or routine investigation. Some people believe these findings point toward a deeper web of secrets involving influential individuals, perhaps even a network operating quietly behind the scenes. Yet none of these claims have been confirmed, and without concrete evidence, they remain speculative. Another significant mystery revolves around the purpose of the materials found. Were they simply records related to the ministry's operations? Or did they contain something more sensitive? The fact that some papers were sealed and safes protected by complex locks implies that whoever stored them intended for their contents to remain hidden from most eyes. This secrecy raises the possibility that these documents might include information that could damage reputations or expose wrongdoing on a large scale. But until the authorities decide to make any details public, the exact nature of these secrets remains a subject of intense curiosity and concern. The discovery of tapes labeled with names of well-known political and religious figures added yet another layer of intrigue. Such tapes could potentially contain conversations, confessions, or evidence of misconduct. But again, no official statements have clarified their contents. The mere existence of these tapes sparked fears and conspiracy theories about surveillance, blackmail, or hidden alliances. Some speculate that these recordings were intended as a form of insurance or leverage, stored safely to be used if necessary. Others wonder if they were part of a broader attempt to uncover corruption or wrongdoing among powerful individuals. Regardless, the tapes remain a focal point of the mystery, their true purpose unknown. Public curiosity is also fixated on the financial documents found during the raid. Reports suggest there were irregular transactions, money flowing to offshore accounts, and donations that didn't seem to align with the ministry's stated mission. Some records appeared to involve substantial sums of money moving through complex channels, raising questions about whether there was financial fraud or money laundering involved. However, without further investigation details, it's impossible to say for certain what these documents mean or who might be responsible. These financial mysteries have led many to question the transparency and accountability of the ministry. If funds were being mishandled or diverted, it could have serious implications not only for the organization, but also for the donors who trusted their money would be used for good causes. Yet, the complexity of financial systems and the presence of legitimate reasons for some transactions means that jumping to conclusions can be dangerous. The full story behind the money movements will only emerge as the investigation progresses. Beyond the tangible evidence, there's a deeper and more personal mystery surrounding Joni Lamb herself. The woman who has spent decades as a public figure, preaching faith, forgiveness, and integrity, now finds her personal life and actions under intense scrutiny. How much did she know about the contents of those secret rooms and documents? Was she involved in managing or hiding anything? Or was she simply a caretaker of information passed down to her? Her silence on these questions has left many wondering about her true role in this unfolding drama. There are also questions about the impact this investigation will have on her ministry and legacy. Joni Lamb has long been a respected voice within her community, seen as a beacon of hope and spiritual guidance. But the shadow of this mystery threatens to tarnish that image. Supporters remain hopeful, believing in her innocence and praying for the truth to be revealed in a way that restores faith. Critics, however, see the investigation as confirmation of long-held suspicions, questioning how much of her public persona was genuine. The silence from Joni and her close associates adds to the sense of uncertainty. Whether this is due to legal advice, personal choice, or a desire to protect others, it leaves the public to fill the gaps with speculation. In a world where immediate responses are often demanded, withholding information can be misinterpreted as guilt or evasion. Yet, it's also possible that the truth is complex, and that revealing it too soon could jeopardize ongoing legal processes or harm innocent parties. Another unanswered question is about the people connected to the case who have not spoken publicly. The names on the tapes and documents suggest that influential figures may be involved, or at least implicated. Whether these individuals will face scrutiny or speak out remains to be seen. The extent to which this mystery could unravel into a larger scandal involving many others is a question that hangs in the air, keeping both the media and the public on edge.